In today's video, I'm going to tell you how I hit 1 million followers on Instagram in just 90 days. Good morning. I'm also on the hunt for something that Ethan has on his Santa list, which is only available here in America. So let's get on with it.
Checking out the scene, wasn't trying to get my numbers up. You know I keep it cool. I prefer to stay in the cut. Don't want no attention on me when I'm trying to shake the blues up off me. But then I saw your face, it caused my heart to race. Girl, you're looking like $1 million. Something about the way you strut your stuff.
And I'm really sorry to break it to you, there's no magic wand, no hack, but there are some tricks that I can give you. So while I tidy up my face, I'll let the IT department fill you in on a little bit more of a technical aspect of Instagram. So Instagram is a business, and how they earn money as a business is mostly through advertising. Now, the metric they sell potential advertisers is eyeballs. Not quite like these, but eyeballs on screen. According to Instagram, they have what they call layers. So you have your main feed, you have the explore feed, you have the Reels tabs, you have DMs, and you have stories. Reels is the only content that you can upload to Instagram that lands on all 5 of these so-called layers. Reels keep people engaged for longer, to keep them coming back on the app. It also allows advertisers to advertise their product in a more effective way, because in a video you can communicate a hell of a lot more than you can in just a photograph. So Instagram prefers Reels because it's easier to sell to advertisers, keeps users' eyeballs on the screen, keeps them coming back over and over again. We call this the infinite scroll. I think you're done sorting your face, so back over to regular Damien. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Damien, I can DM a static post or a carousel. I can share that to my story. I can even share some people's stories to other people in DMs. I see static posts and carousels on the explore feed, but you won't see any of that on the Reels tab. And Reels tab is an important layer for the platform because there's lots of advertising on there. And that's why Reels is the only content that lands on all of the layers. And this comes directly from Instagram themselves, by the way. I went to a Meta school, Reels school workshop thing a few months ago, and that was a quote that stuck in my head about the layers and about Reels in particular. So don't take it from me, it comes directly from the platform. So Instagram will reward accounts that upload reels consistently. The hard part is coming up with something original, or at least a spin on something existing. Take Casey Neistat for example. He definitely didn't invent vlogging, but he pretty much reinvented vlogging. He put his own style on it, he put his own authentic self into it, and that's why it was so successful. Or me, for example, I didn't invent getting dressed, and I certainly didn't invent getting dressed on the internet. That stuff even predates Instagram and TikTok. But like Casey, I put my own spin on it, I made it my own, and it was authentic. And authenticity is everything, because people buy people, and your authenticity is your USP. USP is business jargon for unique selling point. Now what I mean by putting a unique spin on something is exactly that, a unique spin. If people are tagging the original in your comments because you're copying them, you're on the wrong path. So you've already done the hard part, which is actually creating the content and putting yourself out there and uploading it. So now you just need to figure out how to do that in your own unique way and not copy somebody else. Now there is a little cheat that you can do when copying somebody. You can use someone else's content as an homage. So you could essentially do an homage to them and tag them, and then they might share it to their story, and then you get like a little boost off of them if they share it, that is. The other thing is going to be consistency. Consistency's everything. Me, for example, I uploaded a reel every single day for 2 whole years. But this is where that element of luck that I mentioned starts to come into play. Because for a good chunk of those 2 years of daily uploads, almost nobody was seeing those videos. They were really struggling to break a couple of thousand views. The channel was not growing at all. But then that element of luck struck, and videos started to go really, really viral. Hundreds of thousands, millions of views. And in the space of 90 days, I went from 40,000 followers to 1.2 million followers. And that's a direct result of showing up every day, being consistent, and it not being all about the views, the growth. It was about sharing content that I was proud of, sharing content that I was happy with, sharing my passions, because as I said, people buy people. That's your USP. So you kind of have to not focus on the numbers and just focus on putting out the best content that you can on a regular basis. Another example of this is my friend, Miss Red Kisses. Now, I came across her content when she maybe had 10,000 followers. This was way back in February, and I DM'd her and I just said, can I give you some unsolicited advice on your content? She said yes, and I had mentioned a little teeny mistake that she was making with her content, and that was having the TikTok watermark on her reels. Now, my advice was to record this independently and upload it to each platform individually, because Instagram and TikTok and YouTube all do the same thing, which has it's an AI pixel map. So if you have a competitor's watermark on your video, they're going to push it way down the algorithm. They're not going to show it to people because they don't want to advertise a competitor. And then I told her how good her content was, how she put a unique, authentic spin on something existing, and I literally told her that if she keeps it up, her account will blow up. It's now October, and she's just hit 100k. She hit 100k because she done the aforementioned tricks. Upload reels consistently, as often as possible. Make sure it's unique, make sure it's authentic, make sure it's you, and as long as you do that on a consistent basis, the platform will reward you, and it has. She's grown 90,000 followers in less than 9 months. Now, it's important that you use these tricks with caution, because when your account starts to reach a lot of people, yes kitty, like to talk shit. So you do need to have thick skin if you want to grow any platform. You need to have thick skin, because people are going to come for you, and it's not personal. It's nothing to do with you. It's nothing that you're doing right or wrong or indifferent. It's just people. I think Casey in one of his vlogs said, hurt people hurt people. And that's just simply what it is, because what's actually happening is you're putting yourself out there. You're being true to yourself. You're showing your true, authentic self. You're showing your passions. And people that are unable to do that will feel some sort of way. And more often than not, that provokes some sort of reaction from those people. It's important to remember that nobody is jealous over material things. They're jealous because you can do something that they feel they cannot. You're operating on two different frequencies. Your frequency is here and theirs is here, and it's why there's this clash. And the only thing that's stopping them reaching your frequency is themselves, and they're never going to admit that to themselves, and that's why they take it out on you. So just bear in mind that as your platform grows, you will be subjected to trolling and hate and everything else like that. There's unfortunately not much that you can do about it. You can ignore it, you can embrace it. It's just an unfortunate side effect of having a large platform. So that is how I grew my platform, understanding the content that the platform itself prioritizes, doing that in a unique way on a very consistent basis, and just sticking with it. Just sticking with it regardless of how slow of a burn it is. Just stick with it and it'll happen. Trust me.